On this tutorial, I'll be using this book called Cake Balls by Dede Wilson. And it's just a new book. And to celebrate this new release, I'm going to be making a recipe called Toffee-Brown Buttered Pecan. And I just have to choose one recipe, and I really wanted to do all of them if I could. But this one is going to be so delicious. So let's get started. Alright, so what I have here is a pan that is cooking on a medium heat, and I'm going to add some of the butter, well, all of the butter, and we're just going to melt it. I cut it into cubes so that it will cook evenly, and we'll just wait for the butter to get soft and cooked, or just melted. And basically what we're doing right now is just making the pecan toffee that we will have inside of the cake ball and use it for a little bit of some decoration. It's going to look very tasty. Alright, so it is basically melted, and you can see that it's kind of frothy, which is what we're looking for. We're going to add the sugar all in here, and it's gonna look a little grainy, and that's all right. That means we're on the right track. Just mix it up in there. And until it's all coated. So all of the sugar is mixed in. Then I'm going to add in our halved toasted pecans. I cut them in half, and we're just going to add them right in there. Stir it up a little bit. So what we're looking for is, you can even add a little pinch of salt if you used unsalted butter. But what we're going to look for is that the sugar is going to not be grainy anymore, and it's going to coat and caramelize the pecans. We want to definitely stir it often. We do not want to get this burnt. And it's going to take about 3 minutes. So we'll just keep it going. Here is the caramelized pecans, and what we need to do is let it cool completely, and then we will be able to put it into a food processor and grind it up so that we can put it in with the cake and the frosting. Now we are making the butter that is going to be used to mix with the cake, and I'm starting right now with some butter, and we're just going to brown it, and then we'll add it to the rest of the ingredients. So what we're looking for is a dark brown color. We don't want to burn it, but a good sign is that you're seeing this like frothy part on top of the butter, which is good. You can see it cooking in there. Make sure it's on medium heat. We don't want to make this cook too fast. So we're just going to look for a dark brown color, and then we're going to let it cool before we add it to the rest of the ingredients in the frosting. Alright, we're going to start working on the rest of the frosting. I have some more butter in there. There's whole milk and vanilla. We're going to be adding our browned sugar, so we can do that. We've let it cool on the stove for a little bit, and as you can see, it's browned very nicely. And all of this browned butter is going to give it a great nutty taste to go with the pecans. Okay, we're going to start adding the powdered sugar in little by little and mixing it until it's creamy. Here's what it looks like when it is finished. It's nice and creamy. It's got a great color to it, you know, from the browned butter. And now we're going to start mixing it in with the cake. All right, we are ready to start going. We have the cake and the frosting and now the pecans that are caramelized. What we're going to do with these, they are finally hardened and cooled, but now we are going to put them in a food processor and make them ground so that we can mix it in with the cake. And we'll do that and come back. All right, now this recipe calls for the yellow buttermilk cake. And she gives you a perfect recipe that she uses in this new book. And so this cake, I've baked it and it's completely cooled. And now I'm crumbling it into this big bowl so that we can have easier pieces to work with. They will also be easier to make into balls. Now we are going to add the ground pecans. And then we're also going to add the frosting. And it's basically, I mean, she gives you a guideline, but you can really just tell by feeling it how much frosting you need and if you need to add more. So we'll get to that once all of this cake is crumbled. And make sure you leave some of the pecan halves out so that you can decorate the top of it nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to add some of those in, and it smells great. You can just mix it up. This recipe says that it makes about 70 cake balls, so that's pretty good just for this amount of cake and frosting. All right, now for the frosting, we're just going to add it in little by little. I'll start just with a big spoonful, and what we're looking for is for it to stick together in a ball if we try and make one. So let me move this a little so you can see it. And really make sure your hands are washed very well. But mix in the frosting. And it does get a little messy, but that adds to the fun of it sometimes. And so just go like this, try and make a ball out of it. And if the ball sticks, then you're good to go. If it's still a little bit crumbly, go ahead and add some more frosting and just play it by ear. So this is still crumbly. And as we're dipping it in the white chocolate, it's going to crumble on us. So we definitely need to add some more frosting. Just go by the spoonful. We are ready to start making them into balls, and you see I've already started. This is a pretty good sized ball, and it's not crumbly at all. It's sticking well, so this is the perfect sign they're ready. And you're just going to start laying them out on the sheet and just putting the cake together, rolling it into a ball, just like this. This is a great size. And we'll be covering them with white chocolate next. All right, I have a whole pan ready with cake balls, and I stuck them in the freezer just to make sure they were firm when we put them in the white chocolate to coat them. And I have melted the white chocolate, and I usually do 20-second intervals so it doesn't burn the chocolate, and then I just stir it, and now it is ready. So I'm going to be using a fork to help, and just a little tip is that the smoother the cake ball, the easier the chocolate is going to stick, and it's going to be a lot smoother. So if you can, just smooth out that cake ball the best that you can. And then what I do is that I just plop it right in the middle of the white chocolate, and I cover it with my fork, just like this. Make sure it gets all around. And I go right underneath it. I tap off the excess. It also makes it smoother on the edges. I wipe it, and then I transfer it back onto the cookie sheet, just like that. And you can cover up any left open spots. And these are looking great. And I'm also going to sprinkle on some of our leftover toffee pecans. Just sprinkle it right on top. Oh, those look so good already. So I'm going to do a couple more. Alright, so I finished about half of these so far. They're going great. What you need to do is you just need to let the chocolate harden, and then they'll be ready to serve. You can even store them in an airtight container in the fridge, and they can last for a while for you. So you can make it ahead of time for a party or, you know, whatever event you would like. I would encourage you to go check out this book. It is so great, and you'll love the recipes in it. And if you try this tutorial, just let me know how it goes, and good luck.